Hello, everybody. My name is Happy, and I'd like to welcome you to my History Reaction channel. Today, we're going to be returning to Sabaton, this time for the Red Baron. As always, I will include a link to the original video in the description down below. If you like what you see here, please head over to Sabaton, show them some love and appreciation for all the hard work that they put into this amazing music and incredible videos. Their videos are actually, so far, been universally stunning. I love the way they do these. So, truly impressive stuff. All right, so with that said, don't know a whole lot about the Red Baron. I know all the basics and maybe a little bit more than the average person on the street, but probably not a lot more. We're talking specifically about Manfred von Richthofen. He was born in what was at the time Prussia, but the area where he was born, I believe, was actually in what we now know as Poland. So he would be, by today's standards, Polish, but at the time he was Prussian. He is often associated with his most iconic plane, which was a Fokker triplane that he ended up having painted bright red. He said initially that it was to make him distinctive, to stand out for his men. Later, many of his men started painting their planes red as well, and it kind of became a symbol of his fame, if you want to put it that way. But he went through many different planes over the course of his career during the war. And at one point, his crew was so multicolored, and they traveled with equipment to set up temporary stations with tents and stuff, that they became known as the Flying Circus. What else do I know about the Red Baron? Yeah, so he started as he started the war in the cavalry. I believe he was in recon primarily, but once the war started to settle into trench warfare, cavalry became obsolete. There's not a lot of use for cavalry when everybody just you can't do cavalry charges in trenches. It's not a thing. And trying to ride your cavalry over no man's land with a bunch of entrenched positions and all that barbed wire and craters and stuff in between and artillery fire, it wasn't really a thing. So many nations had started the war with cavalry, but once it settled into the trench warfare, a lot of them drastically reduced their cavalry reliance. Some didn't, but most did, and that includes the German forces. And that results in people like von Richthofen being reassigned. And he had a bunch of more or less desk-type jobs or things that he just did not like doing. He wanted to be out there in the action. So when the opportunity, I believe in around 1915, came along for him to sign up for the air support, he absolutely did so. So he goes on to becoming the Ace of Aces of World War I with 80 confirmed kills. He gets severely injured, I believe, in 1917, about a year before he actually dies. He gets a head injury that nearly takes him out of the sky. He actually goes into he gets seriously hurt, put it that way. He goes into a spin, barely recovers. He ends up going into a period of recovery. He's having serious problems, especially flying after this. Initially, he's reporting health problems while trying to fly. His doctors advise him to stay on the ground, but he won't do it. And he ultimately gets shot down in 1918 while chasing a Canadian pilot that had the nerve to shoot at his cousin, another von Richthofen. In addition to his cousin being up there flying with him, he also had a brother that was flying with him. I don't remember the name of the brother. It was not Luther, but it's something close to Luther, maybe Lothier or something like that. I really don't remember. But yeah, it was kind of a family affair for him. His brother actually substituted for him as leader while he was recovering from that first injury. But he does get shot down while chasing the Canadian pilot. At first, they thought another pilot had shot him down, but I believe since then the general consensus had been that he was taken down by AA fire, ground fire, by Australian forces, I believe. But like I said, I don't know a lot of the details about this. I read one book many years ago, and that's about it. Much like the Bismarck video we did, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of full circle for me because I was first introduced to the Red Baron through music. Specifically, I was very sickly as a child. I often had, if I wasn't recovering from ear surgeries because of my ear problems, I was in bed with croup for weeks at a time, almost every fall. And I had a little phonograph next to my bed and later an 8-track player. And music was how I got through these rough periods. We had TV, but it only picked up like 2 channels or 3 channels, but one of them almost always was horrible. And one of the others was usually pretty bad too. So music was what I did, music and reading. And one of the albums that I got was a Christmas album by the Royal Guardsmen. And on that was Snoopy versus the Red Baron and the sequel to it. And I listened to those songs over and over and over again. They were completely seared into my brain. To this day, I can still remember those songs pretty well. That was my introduction to the Red Baron. So here we are going full circle again. We're back for another song about the Red Baron. Let's see how Sabaton handles it. That sounds almost operatic. Yeah, that's the Fokker there. Not the only plane he flew, but the most iconic. Man and machine and nothing there in between. The flying circus on the man from Prussia. Yep. The sky in a plane, this man commands his domain. The western frontier all the way to Russia. Whoa, we got a problem here. Just from above, you're under fire. Stay red as blood, it's rolling higher. Born a soldier from the horseback to the skies. Reverend to cavalry. That's where the legend will arise. And he's flying higher. The king of the sky. He's flying to pass and he's flying to hide. Higher. An eye for an eye. The legend will never die. First to the scene, he's a lethal machine. He's not the able and the tide is turning. Fire the whale, it's the thrill of the kill. For invasion down with engines burning. Embrace the flame, red squadron leader. Call out this name, Protect and Flieger. In the game to win, the gambler rolls the dice. 80 allies paid the price. Yep, 80 kills confirmed. There actually may have been more, but we got 80 confirmed for sure. The king of the sky, he's flying to pass and he's flying to hide. Higher, an eye for an eye, the legend will never die. Higher, higher, the king of the sky is flying to pass again. Is flying too high, is flying higher. An eye for an eye, the legend will never die. Higher. Oh yeah, easily. Right. Born a soldier from the horseback to the skies. And the legend never dies. And he's flying, and he's flying, and he's flying higher. The king of the sky is flying So stayed it in. Or I guess we won't, because apparently my internet just went down again. So I think we're going to call it good here. Yeah, another great song by Sabaton. They covered the basics. It wasn't super informative, but they did manage to slip a lot of details in there, like the fact that a soldier born from horseback to the sky, referring to his cavalry period. They talk about his kill count, which is important, or shoot down count, I guess might be a better way to put it. They mention in text that he does die in 1918 over France. That's accurate. They don't mention that he was seriously wounded before that, but you can't cover everything, especially not in a song like this, because this isn't really a story song. It is what it is. It's power metal, but incredibly well done as always. They get a lot of the good stuff, and it's one of their catchier songs so far, at least for me. And I love that they started it in that classical operatic style too, with the keyboards. I thought that was brilliant. A great way to lead into this. And yeah, Baron von Richthofen, the Red Baron, iconic. He's easily one of the most legendary people in history, especially for as a soldier, as a warrior. Certainly in the 20th century, there's not many people that can match him in terms of his iconic status. If you were to ask people to name the most famous pilot of all time, he'd almost certainly be on the top three of the come to people's minds, regardless of where you are in the world. He's iconic. So incredible video, great song. Looking forward to seeing what's next. I will be slowing down a little bit on Sabaton going forward. We'll still be doing them fairly regularly, but I've been doing them weekly since Christmas. I want to have room for some other things too. So what I think I'm going to be doing is making Thursdays into a musical day for a while. So we'll do Sabaton, we'll do epic rap battles. We might try to find some other YouTube-friendly musical history-related music that we can toss in here. Got to be careful about copyright issues. Some folks like Sabaton and epic rap battles allow the use of their videos. They get the revenue from it, or in some cases they share, and that's fine. But other people, you'll get copyright strikes, which we can't do. So I'll have to be careful, but we'll look at some making Thursdays music, but they won't always be Sabaton. We'll throw in epic rap battles. We'll try to find other people. If you guys know any other musical groups that don't mind reactions on YouTube that relate to history or anything like that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to look at some other musicians that tackle history. I know they're out there. I know quite several of them that have done so in the past. Either it's their brand, if you will, like with Sabaton, or it's just something they do periodically. One example I know would be somebody like Johnny Horton, which I mentioned in the Bismarck video. He does a lot of he was best known for history-related songs. The Battle of the Bismarck, or the Sinking of the Bismarck, Battle of New Orleans, Comanche, about a horse that survived the Little Bighorn battle, things like that. There are others too. Woody Guthrie did a lot of songs based on historic events. A lot of his songs came straight out of the newspapers. His Dust Bowl ballads, for example, are an incredibly good record of that period in American history. And I might be able to do some of those possibly. If you guys have any suggestions of those that you know are where the copyright holders allow them to be shared on YouTube as reactions, let me know. I'd be happy to tackle some others. That said, we will be doing Sabaton fairly regularly, just not necessarily every single week. but at least once a month, probably 2 or even potentially 3 times a month, just depending on how things go. So we'll be continuing with them. Don't fear about that. So thank you for joining me. See you all later. Bye-bye.